In today's video, we're going to be talking about the latest transfer news regarding West Ham, possible incomings, possible outcomes, giving my opinion on it. Guys, in the comment section down below, make sure you give your opinion on all the latest West Ham transfer rumours. Guys, these are only rumours. Nothing is factual. I'm just giving my opinion based on what I've seen in media outlets. Guys, make sure you hit the subscribe button for more West Ham videos. That would be greatly appreciated. Now, I'm actually doing a geo this afternoon, guys. I've got a notepad, a diary, so I can keep track of some of the rumours. Now, the main talking story for the last couple of days regarding West Ham transfer news is this Seville striker, Youseff and Neyrsi. Now, I'm not sure if I butchered his name or not, if I pronounced his name right or not. I don't care, quite frankly. However, the context behind this transfer is that our first bid of around about 23 to 25 million pounds has been rejected. Now, firstly, it's an awful sum of money in terms of, whilst we've just spent 40 million, pounds on Haller, we sold him for 20 million pounds. For West Ham to then make a bid, which was confirmed by ex-WH employee, which was confirmed by David Moyes, of an offer of up to 25 million for a striker, was actually pretty surprising. Now, that bid was rejected, and it has turned out that we've actually, well, according to Spanish outlets, that we are considering going back in with another offer of around about 35 million euros. But then it also turned out yesterday that the Spanish coach, I can't think of his name, but the Seville coach has said that he doesn't want to sell, the striker. They only signed him a year ago. He's doing very well. Seville are in the Champions League. They're doing very well in La Liga, so they've got no reason to sell, and they want to keep him. Now, even if a club comes in and matches the 35 million pounds that they've sort of put on his head, they are going to reject it. And it's also reports that this guy doesn't even want to join West Ham. And I do understand that if this is David Moyes' number one target, because it has been discussed that Boulaye Dia is the number one target for David Moyes. It looks like he has shifted his approach, his number one transfer target, to Youseff and Neyrsi. And if it is the case, I'm a big advocate. We've got to back David Moyes. However, if the player doesn't want to join, similar to James Tarkowski in the summer, there was rumours that we want to sign Tarkowski. David Moyes really wants him and sees him as the perfect player to come in to our defence, but he didn't want to come down south. He didn't want to join West Ham. And I don't want West Ham to waste energy, waste time and try and pursue a striker to join West Ham, where Seville are in a fantastic position in terms of the league. They're in a fantastic position in terms of the Champions League. Why would he want to join West Ham? And at the moment, West Ham as a club, our stock is pretty high. We're doing very well in terms of on the pitch, 7th in the league. We're doing very well, 4 wins in a row, 3 in the Premier League. So if this guy doesn't want to join West Ham, when sort of right now everything is going quite well in terms of on the pitch for us, when would he ever join? Unless we obviously get Champions League, which at the moment is very, unrealistic, but certainly the Europa League is very realistic if we play our cards right. Why would he join West Ham? There will never be a time he want to join West Ham if he doesn't want to join West Ham at the present. So for me, move on from this transfer, move on to other targets. Now, Montpellier has been another club that we've sort of been linked with a couple of their strikers. We've been linked with Gatan Laborde. 20 games so far this season, 6 goals, 6 assists. Now, he's 26 years of age, and I've seen rumours regarding that we've had a bid rejected. I've also seen rumours that we're trying to loan him with possible obligation to buy for £16 million. A similar deal that we structured with Sparta Prague for Thomas Souček. Now, in terms of the player, I don't actually know much about him. I don't watch Montpellier. I don't watch much Ligue 1 football. When I had to do sort of my analysis on Boulaye Dia, I had to do my research. Now, in terms of this guy, in terms of his stock, he looks like a pretty big built player. Now, in terms of his pace, I'm not kind of sure what he would bring to West Ham, so I'm not going to comment too much on it, but £16 million possible obligation to buy. We've also been linked with his strike partner, who's 29 years of age, with also a possible loan move to buy. And it does look like West Ham, in terms of players that are not tried and tested in the Premier League, they want to sort of loan them before they can buy. And I could sort of understand that, because we don't want to invest 15 to 20 million into a striker if we don't if they don't adapt to life of the Premier League. We've seen what happens with Haller. Scored goals for fun in the Bundesliga, come over here, didn't do it for whatever reason, whether you believe it was the system or you believe with the player. However, it does look like West Ham are going down that route. However, it does look like we did put a bid in, for that El Neyrsi, which was kind of going against what I'm saying in terms of loan to buy. But you get my drift. Now, I wasn't going to report on this one because I am a Patreon of XWHU employee, and I don't agree with the leaks. And he did mention that West Ham are monitoring the contract situation of Danny Ings. And the only reason why I'm mentioning it right now is because it has been leaked into Twitter public domain. You've only got to put Danny Ings out on Twitter, West Ham, and you see a couple of people have mentioned Danny Ings and West Ham. So that's the only reason why I'm going to give you my opinion on it. Now, apparently West Ham are monitoring his situation. However, Danny Ings does want Champions League football. So for me, it's one of those. Danny Ings, yes, he's a fantastic striker. He's got great pace. He scores goals. A very good technical finisher, but he also is injury prone. He does pick up a lot of injuries. However, in the last season or so, he's actually been relatively good with injuries. Whilst the last month or two, he has picked up a couple of niggling injuries, so he has been out of action for Southampton. So in terms of goal scoring, he would be fantastic. In terms of his pace, he would be fantastic. But the thing that I've also thought about, that I spoke about in my live stream, down a little bit off tangent, is that if West Ham do sign a striker, we've been linked with Danny Ings, we've been linked with this 35 million Seville striker. David Moyes, when he spends money on players, he treats the money as if it's his own. And I would be very surprised that if David Moyes would spend 35 million on a player, then to put him on the bench. So is it a possibility that West Ham could possibly change formation in the future to maybe a 4-4-2? We've now got a centre midfield, and in order to make a very, very good 4-4-2 work, and to make it work, right, you have to have two very good centre midfielders. We've got that now in Declan Rice, in Thomas Souček, and we've got the option of possibly going 4-4-2 with either Fornals or Ben Rama on the left, and then Bowen on the right, and then, Odebeku, Antonio, or even Antonio and the possible new acquisition of a striker. For me, Danny Ings is, again, more wasted in energy. More than likely, he's going to go elsewhere. Don't waste your energy on it, West Ham, because we're not going to get him realistically. He wants to go to a Champions League team. Whether he's actually trying to hold out for more money on a more contractual, a better contract from Southampton, we don't know. However, let's move on to possible transfer outgoings. Now, Issa Diop, we know that, he's not favoured at West Ham at the minute. He is fifth choice centre-back, and whilst it looked very good for him only a season and a half ago, when he was under Manuel Pellegrini, there was links of him going to Tottenham, going to Manchester United under Jose Mourinho for big, big money. Now, it looks like he's lost his stock a bit. It does look like that West Ham are potentially looking at Craig Dawson as a permanent transfer. I forgot to touch on about that in the possible incomings. We are looking at making that transfer permanent, Craig Dawson. For me, I'd only make it permanent if we're actually going to use that domestic loan signing. Otherwise, I'd wait till the summer, because 2 or 3 million right now could be a deal breaker between signing a striker and not. So unless we're going to sign him and then use that option that he is freed up by signing on a permanent deal to use that on a domestic loan, I would wait till the summer. He's done a fantastic job. I would still sign him for 2 to 3 million. It's a no-brainer. I spoke about defenders, how I feel they mature with age. He's 30 years of age. I actually thought he was older than 30 years of age. I actually thought he was more 32, 33. So I would go for it. But I'd only sign him this January if we are going to make that domestic loan. We're going to use that domestic loan that he frees up. Now, let's actually go back to Issa Diop. Now, 3 Premier League clubs, apparently one of them is West Brom. In terms of the Premier League club, this guy does need first-team football because he's still young. And whilst right now West Ham, they could probably recapture, the majority of the money that they spent, which was around about 20 million. Right now, if we were to sell Issa Diop, we could probably get 15. But the more time that he's out of the first team, that just gives an opportunity for his value to decrease even further. Right now, he needs to go out on loan. He needs to play regular first-team football. Apparently, the clubs that he's been linked with are mainly clubs that are the lower half of the Premier League table. So for me, West Brom, would I want him at West Brom? No. I feel like West Brom, they can still concede goals. We've seen that. Whilst they have showed signs of improvement in the last couple of weeks, do I want him to go to a team that has got possibility of going down? If a couple of results don't go their way, if they get a couple of drubbings, get a couple of smashings like they have done in previous weeks, like Leeds, Arsenal, it's only going to further, dent his confidence. So for me, I'd rather go into a club that may be a Leeds United, maybe someone, you know, maybe a Burnley, because whilst Burnley are down there, they do have good foundations in terms of they don't concede goals. So I wouldn't mind him at Burnley, something like that. Issa Diop, but he does need to get first team experience. Ideally in the Premier League, I don't really want to see him go to France, because we know in terms of the quality in France and the quality in England, they don't really compare. So for me, Issa Diop, I would like him to stay. Is there anything else apart from Dawson? Doesn't look like it, guys. So guys, that's going to be the end of the video. Make sure you hit the subscribe button for more West Ham videos. I'll catch you next time. See you later.